This week we're heading into the Fouled Prison for the weekly challenge. Let's see what's in store for us. See if there's anything worth grabbing in the area. Now, I'm happy to hear that that is at least one of the types of missions, because Glenn is the star hero. He has two abilities for his leadership traits. One is that he converts. Well, he doesn't convert. You basically you get supplies as well as XP for kills, which is great. The other thing that he can do is, well, you just saw it there. Things like interact, open a door, and then still be able to take an action. So that's great. I've teamed him up with Shane because one of my daily, challenge conditions is to do a certain number of missions with Shane, and Hilltop Maggie because it's wifey, isn't it? Of course, I'm going to bring her. I'm not bringing the Hunter variant. She grants you extra XP, which is, that's great. That's fine, but no, we're going with this variation. Let me see. What do I want to do here? I'll do that and that. Shane, please take care of that. We can search this box, and we've still got an action left because, of course, Glenn is the leader. So are there any tips or advice for this? Well, Glenn makes for a fantastic leader for this particular mission anyway. He really, really does. What you can do is perhaps, if you're concerned about the walkers, leave them behind the gates, leave a ranged character on Overwatch. So don't directly shoot them with a main attack, just wait until the walker's turn, and when they shoot during that, you don't create any threat. Or use weapons that don't create threat, or you can reduce it even better. That way you won't get flooded with walkers every turn. There's quite a lot of scout weapons that can reduce threat. Characters like Michonne can do it as well. What you should be able to do is figure out a way to pick off the enemy without having to engage them at all. The art of fighting without fighting. That's an option. Although, having said that, with Glenn as your leader, you can engage with those gates and things like that, and you can just, still have an action left to move, fight. That's why I like giving him something like the weapon that I've given him here, which is the what is it? It's the Sawtooth Blade. So I think that works very, very well because it has quick strike. It means that you could interact with something, open a door, say, and then kill something, and then still search a crate. You could do all of that with one action, essentially. So you can really make the most of it. And don't forget, when you can do things like that, you get a free move after the kill. You can just move so far around the map. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, you've got multiple walkers there, so let's blow them up with Shane. Again, this is not perhaps the ideal team. I'm just bringing it for thematic reasons and or because I have to bring Shane, really, to earn some seasonal event tokens. So this particular map can be tricky. We don't get to make the most of the fact that Glenn is our leader because, well, it takes 6 turns to open that gate. He's not going to do anything. The only way to make it so that your character is doing anything, really, when he's opening those, he or she is opening that gate, is to maybe make them a ranged character and have Yumiko nearby. When Yumiko shoots, the person opening the gate will, bizarrely enough, interrupt themselves and shoot as well. Otherwise, they're kind of just there, not very useful. Tools like flares will buy you 2 turns. Very, very handy. any weapon, like, say, the Hazard Shotgun or Rick's Assault Rifle with a wide spread that can cripple or ensnare. Very, very useful. So hitting multiple targets, I think, is kind of essential for this. Maybe bringing bruisers with the Riot Shield so that you can herd the enemy. Using things like the Walker Mask support, that can be helpful. Distracting lots of walkers. Find the supplies and get out before you get bit. Rightio. Again, this sounds like another one that might well play to Glenn's strengths. Yeah, it does. Actually, Glenn is great as the leader for this mission. Get rid of you. Now, I do want to reduce threat as best I can. So there you go. That is an ideal way of using Glenn. Now, of course, if I use my charge attack, that means it doesn't create any noise. That's just too much fun to resist. And you can see how having Glenn really, really helps. Sometimes you need to show some patience in the missions on this game. If you've got Glenn and you've got that chance to just smash the objective and get in and out before the walkers even know what's going on, then you should really try and take that advantage. Lovely. So that's 2 missions that have made the most of the fact that Glenn is our star hero. Let's hope that continues. What's next? Lovely, some Maggie tokens. That seems fitting. Maybe you don't use scouts or melee characters that much. This is a really good opportunity. We're obviously in that week break in the middle of Guild Wars as well, so everyone can focus on the weekly challenge. And so far, those are 3 interesting missions. The one where you have to open the gate, oof, it can be a nightmare later on, but you know, it's doable. All scouts are going to start charged. That's perhaps worth bearing in mind. Glenn is again the perfect leader for this. Now, we don't want to search that middle shelf right there. Why not? Well, if you look closely, it's glowing red. That means that there is some kind of a trap. Something's going to be triggered, basically, when we open that. You may have noticed that the mission description showed that there is an armoured walker who will pop out, and he's not on the map now, so logic would suggest that when we open that there crate, well, it's not a crate, that shelf, he will make himself known. Charge attacks from scouts are exceptionally powerful, so they can kind of punch through that armoured walker's armour. But that's definitely the way to do it. Obviously, we're at an early difficulty setting at the moment. It's not too much of a challenge. But later on, you're going to have more walker types. That threat counter ticks over more quickly. You're going to have an awful lot more to deal with. But just try and take things one at a time. And yeah, wait for an opportune moment to search that middle shelf. You might not need to leave it till after you've searched the other 2. That's entirely possible. You might pick a good opportunity. Just think about it, because it will release that armoured walker. Of course, if Glenn is your leader, then you're going to be able to search that shelf, and you're still going to be able to have an action. You could use it to attack, or you could use it to move. You could search that shelf. It spawns the armoured walker. If you have to get out of there, just get out of there. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one can be tricky, and I think that melee characters are suboptimal here. Wesley, Rick, Robert. How the devil are you gentlemen? So I don't want to get too close because I don't want to get in range of Rick there. Good. So I was hoping that he would pay much more attention to the walker than to us. Maggie's actually a pretty good choice. We can do that. Okay, the AI is being pretty dumb. I must admit, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, Wesley's going to have his hands full, right? All of those walkers. So let's leave him alone and let's just focus here on Bob. Shoot him in his head with a mightily powerful charge attack. Wesley, let's just get him through spite, shall we? Now, one of the features of this map is that you have 2 escape points. One at the top, one at the bottom. They can only fit 2 survivors. So you've got to plan for that. It's often a good idea to get all of your survivors together just because of the shape of the map and everything. But you've got to remember that somebody's got to sprint to the end. I suppose that's one of the advantages if we're trying to be optimistic for making sure that you have Glenn on your team. Scouts, of course, are tied with shooters as the fastest class. They have that little bit extra movement over everybody else. And remember, you've just got to get to the end. You don't have to kill everything. There's going to be some humans standing in your way. But if you can get them distracted by the walkers or just sort of stun them and sprint past them, anything like that, then that's all you need to do. Ooh, nice. Later. Sweeping the cellar, kill all walkers. So Glenn, there's nothing about his skills that's particularly beneficial to this mission. It is worth bearing in mind, of course, that when you get some kills... Lovely. You're going to get some supplies as well. So, you know, that's kind of nice. This could be fun. Ha! Awesome. Alright, it's a straight up kill all walkers. So Sasha, Yumiko, Mercer just can't fail, really. You could bring Glenn and you could bring Yumiko and Mercer, I guess. And just use the strategy that you would normally do with the big 3. Again, at least you're going to be topping up your supplies. That's something. But there you go. That's the mission set. There's definitely some missions here which really benefit from having Glenn as the leader. There's others where, you know, other heroes might be more useful. But it's a fun set. That one where you have to open the gate is probably the trickiest one. As you start moving up difficulty, it starts to get a challenge, and you really have to think outside the box to decide how you are going to defeat that mission. If you do have any dramas, though, let me know. Either I or somebody else will help in the comments. And as ever, thank you for watching.